Good morning, everybody. It's good to have a countdown, but this morning O'Day just decided to press the button and say we're live. Gladiators, well, you know what? It takes a gladiator to be ready for any situation. So, O'Day, thank you for testing me today. Yahya, say hi to everyone.
Hi. Hello.
The producer and the stuntman, Yahya, and O'Day, my right-hand person. I'm determined to make O'Day famous on these live events. Say hello.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, he's a good-looking one behind the camera. What I want to discuss today with you and share with you is an honest conversation about how to value yourself. If you don't, let me put a straight point across, and it's something that you need to reflect. And I hope you all have a pen and paper in hand and taking notes, because what I'm going to say to you is something that I've experienced over the last 35 years of my life, and I've lost millions and millions of dollars. Sound like Donald Trump, actually. Billions and billions, millions and millions of dollars, losing, learning. So what I'm going to share with you is 10, 15 years of experience and pain. So don't take it lightly. Don't take this lightly. And I'm going to try to say less ers as possible. So here's the thing. Today, what you're earning is a reflection of how much you think you're worth in the marketplace. So I'm going to say it again. Today, what your company is earning, or what you're earning as a salary, is a reflection of what you think you are worth in the marketplace. So if you're earning millions, that's how much you think you're worth. If you're earning nothing, that's how much you think you're worth. Not because people don't value you, it's because you don't value yourself. That's going to lead me to a story. This story I learned from Tony Robbins, going back about 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. And it moved me, and I hope it moves you the same way. The story is about FedEx. FedEx have a center of distribution in the US, in Memphis, Tennessee. And every day, hundreds and hundreds of 747s land with boxes to be taken to other parts of the world or the US. So it's critical that the conveyor belts work smoothly. So they have systems in place with barcodes that make sure that every box and package that is landed in that distribution center is sent out straight to the next 747s, and they're sent out all over the world so they can deliver those boxes within 24 hours, as they promised to the consumer. So you can imagine the fact that the system should work and shouldn't go down is critical to the lifeline of that of FedEx. But one day, so they have systems to back it up and systems to back up the backup system. And one day, for whatever reason, the actual did you just kick the camera?
No.
I saw it move. Okay. So one day the conveyor belt stopped working, and it just happened that the CEO or the chairman of the company was actually based there, and they phone him up and say, "Look, the conveyor belts are not working. The backup system isn't working. It's failed, and the conveyor belts aren't. They're just not happening." And he said, no matter what it costs, because it's costing me millions of dollars a minute, find an engineer from anywhere in the world, fly him in to fix these conveyor belts. They phoned up their manufacturers, and they actually said, it's your lucky day because we have an engineer nearby and he'll be with you in the next half an hour. And the guy says, whatever it is, get him a VIP treatment, get him to the office to get these conveyor belts fixed. The guy arrives half an hour later, and the CEO, the chairman, goes to meet him on the shop floor and said, look, this is already cost me tens of millions of dollars, and more than anything else, our reputation. Whatever it costs, fix this conveyor belt. Whatever it costs, I'm prepared to pay, fix this conveyor belt. And the guy kind of looks at the conveyor belts and takes his time, opens his toolbox, gets a screwdriver and a screw, walks over to a small box on the wall, opens the box, put the screws in, and turns the screw, and the whole system starts working. And the whole company celebrates, and the chairman came over and says, I cannot thank you enough. And you know, the universe wanted you to be nearby, and I'm so grateful. So what I like to do is write you a check for whatever I owe you to fix my systems. And how much would it be? And the engineer turned around and said, it's going to be $10,000. The chairman looked at him and said, hang on a second. It took you about less than a minute to fix my problem. Why are you charging me $10,000? I want you to break it down. So he said, I'll gladly do so. And the guy wrote down in a breakdown of his invoice, $1 for screw, $9,999 for knowing which screw to turn. And immediately the chairman went, wow. And he wrote him a check for $10,000. Now, that story, I've memorized it for the last 20 years. because it makes you realize that that guy, he actually valued his experience. I wonder how many of you out there in the marketplace really value your experience, or you're underselling yourself. How much value are you bringing to the companies, right? And how much are they paying you for that? And I bet you it's not as much as you think you're worth. So step up. Step up, value yourself, value your experience, value the time that it took for you to become that expert in that field. And don't ever, ever undercharge yourself. So take full responsibility. What I find, especially actually recently in my company, is that it's very easy for people to blame others. It's somebody else's, it's the frigging coronavirus, it's that person, it's my manager, it's my colleagues, it's the circumstance, it's the weather, it's Ramadan, it's summertime, it's seasonal. Bullshit. Take full responsibility. Because you know what? You're on this planet once. I've never met anyone who's come from another universe or another lifetime to say to me, oh, here, I'm here from a past or a future. This is the only lifetime we have. So take full responsibility and make sure you have the most incredible life. Because as far as I know, this is the only one chance we get. Okay? So take full responsibility. And here's the thing. When you pass responsibility, you worry, you lose sleep, you get stressed out. When you take full responsibility, you can take action. And when you take action, you can make it happen. And action is the biggest aphrodisiac, I promise you. Because you know what? It makes you feel like a gladiator. It makes you feel as though you can go out there and conquer, and instead of being conquered, right? So that's one. You can tell I'm in one of those moods today. Okay? Stand up for your principles. I'll give you an example today. Time is one of my biggest principles, right? Or values. I value time more than money. Today, I was talking to a client who happened to be 5 minutes late on a Zoom call. And when I was, another thing, positivity is one of my, and drive is one of my principles and values. And as I'm talking to this person, every conversation I had, and we're making money for them, I nearly said he or she, it doesn't really matter, kept saying, yeah, but. And I said to this person, if you say but one more time, you cannot be my client anymore. Because you know what? Sometimes we feel something is under the radar, but we don't share it. Every time this person was saying but, it was like a knife. And I was feeling drained listening to this person. And I was thinking inside, internal dialogue was, why am I bothering listening to this negative person? Because this negative person is going to continue with every supplier he or she ever hires, right? So I laid it out straight. If she continues using the word but, she's no longer be my client. Okay? So stick to your principles, write them down. How do you value them? There shouldn't be gray areas, because the moment people see gray areas with your principles or values, they'll take advantage of you. And then you'll go home worried, you'll get home upset, and you'll be discouraged because you know what? You bend backwards. And why? For money. Money is only energy. It's not worth killing yourself for. It's not worth drowning your happiness and quality of life for the sake of money. Conflict. What I find is that people think that if they run a business, they're not going to get conflict in their life. Bullshit. Okay? There's good conflict, there's bad conflict. If you're a person of principles and authority and vision and drive, you're going to face conflict, because the majority of people out there are like sheep. The majority of people are looking for leaders. So if you want to be a leader, guess what? You're going to have conflict in your life. So don't avoid it. For too long, when I was young, I buried my head under the sand, in the sand or under the carpet or whatever you might call it, and I avoided conflict, and I was miserable. So there's good conflict and there's bad conflict. Good conflict is where you actually together as a unit, as a partnership, as a team, you go forward to achieve things. Bad conflict is when egos get in the way and people shout and swear at each other just to prove a point. It's all about control and not the ultimate destiny or destination. So recognize the conflicts in your life. You cannot avoid conflict, okay? Because it will always catch up with you. Otherwise, you'll just be brushed under the carpet and walked all over. Conflict is something that you'll get as a salesperson and also as a business owner. As a salesperson, because you've got to fight for your targets. You've got to fight for your commission. Right? If you don't fight for it, if you're not hungry enough, if you're not creating conflict with a person who can't decide to go ahead with you, how are you going to win those battles? Right? So welcome conflicts. Don't avoid them. Write down what sacrifices you're prepared to make. right? Because in life, to be successful, you need to make frigging sacrifices. Yesterday, I sat down with 2 members of staff, and one of them at least is watching right now, because he was not prepared to make sacrifices to come to work. He was going to take the easy route. And you know what? I fired him. He's here today, and I hope he's listening now, begging for his job back. Because that was a waking up call to make sure, if you want to work with me, and you want to make something out of your life, you become a gladiator. You get out to bed early. You turn up early, you beat your competition, and you do well for yourself. Because end of the day, the culture that I've brought up in my organization is that I want everybody to make money. I share my success. But I tell you what, if they're not pulling their weight, they're going to be a passenger and they're going to be pulling everybody down. So not just me, their colleagues in the department and the team. So that decision is non-negotiable. You're either a gladiator, you drive this bus forward, or you frigging puncture it and weigh it down. I'm not going to have anybody slowing us down, especially at my age. I don't have the privilege of having most of my life ahead of me. Most of my life has been behind me. So I'm oozing with drive and quality of life and quality of my time. I'm not going to waste it with time wasters. All right, so Dave's going, oh my God, Dariush is in one of those moods today. You're damn right I am. I had a good night's sleep. You switch the TV on, and all you hear is about millions of people. Again, I sound like Donald Trump. Millions and millions being unemployed. There's catastrophe out there. But guess what? I was actually reading, and there's opportunities everywhere. There's opportunities everywhere. Pharmacies have quadrupled their sales through this turmoil. Online retailers. I think Amazon is recruiting 50,000 new people. Home delivery. Pizzerias. Papa John's is recruiting 30,000 people to deliver their pizzas. There's opportunities everywhere. Security companies. Health industry. They're all doing extremely well. So your focus should be where the opportunity is and not where the scarcity is and where the pain is. And that reflects the way you're going to live life. Because with everything, there's a good and a bad. There's a day and a night, winter and a summer. It's your choice how you reflect and how you analyze and how you interpret what's happening to your life. Because I'm sick to death of hearing about negativity and bad news. I hope and pray you're all healthy. I hope and pray that you're going to live a long, healthy life. But here's the thing, I choose to go forward. Whether if I catch corona or don't catch corona, I'll deal with a smile on my face as a gladiator, not as a victim. What else is there to talk to you about? Okay. Also what I've noticed is this sense of entitlement. People think because I'm breathing, the world owes me something. Bollocks. Okay, and my son's listening to this and I go, oh Dad, stop swearing. But I feel very, very strongly about this, okay? You are lucky. I think it's a 1 in 500 million chance that you're born and you're on this planet, right? So that's it. That's your sense of entitlement. Some universe, God, or whatever it is, put you on this planet, okay? Doesn't matter where you were born, doesn't matter about your location, doesn't matter the geography, doesn't matter about your personal circumstances. We've all had pain. Trust me, I've had my share of pain. But I'm not going to allow that child to dictate this adult I am today. And you're going to make sure that see the patterns you've earned, you've inherited from the time you were a child to you are now, and take your life forward. Decide that you want better. Aim high. Strive. Show people that you're a gladiator. Don't accept no for an answer. Take your life forward, man. Take your life forward. There's no guarantee you're going to be alive tomorrow. Make it happen today. Go for it. Yeah, so no sense of entitlement, okay? You shouldn't have, nobody owes you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing. I came to this country, middle-aged, lost everything, with children to feed. Children couldn't go to school with less than $1,000 in my pocket. There was no chance of sense of entitlement, okay? I had a target, a goal that I wrote every single day, and I achieved every single one of those, and I kept changing my goals until I got to where I am today. And it's nothing, I'm not trying to be egotistic, but you know what? I have a life of abundance. I can go wherever I want, with whoever I want, how long I want, whenever I want. And that's freedom, right? So practice being happy. Happiness and silliness are different things, okay? Life should be happy, but it's not to be taken the piss out of. Okay, it's not a child's play. Be happy and positive, but take life seriously. Because if you don't, it'll come back to bite you. It's strange, the universe. The moment you take your eye off the ball, it'll come back to bite you. So keep your focus, enjoy life, and go forward. When you have goals and you're achieving them, it's a source of positivity and inspiration for yourself, your family, and others. Put your foot down. Mark your spot. Wear your shield. Sharpen your axe. Let's start again. Put your foot down as a gladiator. Mark your spot. Wear your shield, because people are going to attack you. Sharpen your axe. Don't go out there chopping trees with a blunt axe. Rehearse, practice, educate, grow. Aim high, because if you don't aim high, you're going to hit low, and you're going to be living a life of frustrations and misery. And act. Remember, there's nothing like acting. Too many people talk it, they live it, they never take action, because in their mind they've already achieved it, right? So aim high, act every single day to achieve your goals to the end of the year or end of the decade. People overestimate what they can do, underestimate what they can do in 10 years and overestimate what they can do in one. Be patient. Business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And guess what? Try over and over again. Never quit. Never, ever quit. People need to be inspired. One thing that I know, maybe it's a gift or whatever it is, wherever I go around the world on training centers, not as an educator, even as a trainee, people come to me and say, thank you for being on this course. So I thought maybe God's given me a gift to inspire people. Not inspire people from books I've read, sharing with people my pain and my successes and everything. So from the heart, it comes to the heart. So make sure you inspire people. You're a source of inspiration. And I wish you all the best of luck, Gladiators. And I'm going to see you all on Thursday. But before we go away, we got some questions, right?
We have about 10 questions.
Oh, they fire away. Has any of my family watching? Anybody saying anything? Oh, good. Hello, everybody. Hello, a lot of people. Thanks, Ode.
Okay, so the first question we got is, how can I choose between working for a high-end firm or work for myself?
I have no, but by the way, I was told that if I repeat the question, it's pointless because people already can hear you speaking. So I don't really know what the question means by high-end. People go for high-end jobs because I guess they get security. They think if I work for a bank or a high-end company, my job is secure. Means nothing. I hear that banks are making people redundant. So if you're going for safety because it's high-end or what your parents may think of you or your peer group, you're doing the wrong thing. Follow your passion, right? Don't get into become a self-employed because you failed as a safety job. Follow your heart, follow your lead, follow your mind, and be prepared to take risks. The quality of your life depends on the risks you can comfortably take. So if you're actually working for a high-end company, it's mainly because you don't want to take risks. You'll never make a good you never make a good entrepreneur. You'll always be an employee because entrepreneurs take massive risk and have to be comfortable with it. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, perfect. We have, I don't know the name of the person, K. Duraidi. You changed many, but I'm sure that you changed me. He's talking about, I'm sure that you...
Oh man, thank you. I love you so much. Afterwards, I'll find out who you are. I'll direct message you. Thank you. I love you guys. I really do. I hope my love comes across, and there's nothing more I want. Every single day, and Ode's, because he manages my post and my mail, every single day I have employees and people that somewhere along the way we cross paths, coming back to me saying thank you and you changed my life. People I didn't even think that I had any form of impression on or anything, and they come back and say, and that's the biggest thank you I could ever get, biggest reward I could ever receive. And I think my being on this planet is to change lives for the positive. So thank you. I'm getting all emotional again. By the way.
Okay, and then next question. How can I make money if my business is seasonal?
I don't like seasonal businesses because you are affected by the weather. You're affected by people coming. I used to have a few homes in Spain. Why are you laughing? Is it my kids saying hello?
We got a lot of very good interaction.
Okay. Great. I'll try to answer as much as I can, I promise you. And I notice the numbers are going up and I'm ever so grateful. I used to own houses in Spain, and I could never own a business in Spain because it was seasonal. I can't understand that you can work so hard for 6 months and then nothing for 6 months. So I would personally never get into a seasonal business. I have a business that consistently provides consistent growth and wealth. So yeah, get out of seasonal businesses. That's my opinion.
Right. Okay. Next question is, what is the? I run a social media management company, and what is the best pricing strategy for my service?
Right. As my group of companies started as a social media management company. And at one stage we had 200 clients. And the way I priced it was that it was going to be cheaper than them hiring somebody on peanuts. So what we could offer them, add value, was programming, content, creation, photography, design, and coding. And I priced it such a value or a retainer that they couldn't beat us on price. But what happened was social media platforms grew through the years. So while I was only dealing with Facebook or Twitter, now we got Facebook, Twitter, KitKat, TikTok, whatever it is. I'm just joking. LinkedIn, Instagram, and so they've just grown. So we're getting out of the social media business. And 7, 8 years ago or 9 years ago, when social media was new, people actually respected you. Now every Tom, Dick, and Harry is in the social media business. And on average, on a 7-platform client, you've posted about 4,500 times a year. And you can't automate it because people are responding, you have community management. And the more successful you are, the more response you're going to get from your community. It's labor intensive. Guess what? Every single time you make 5,000 posts, one mistake, your client's going to be on the phone shouting and screaming at you. And it's not a business I want to be in. So we're getting out of it, but social media works. I don't do management, but we do social media advertising. So price it, value your time, price it at not what the market is charging, how much value your time, and how much value you add to the client. If they're not prepared to pay that, they don't value you, don't discount. Don't discount your time. Don't discount your experience. Look for different customers.
Great. Next question. What is your take on influencer marketing? Is it going to be effective for my business?
Influencer marketing. I kind of love it because in some kind of a way, I'm an influencer and I get approached on a monthly basis about people saying, wear my watch or wear my clothes or advertise this or post this once a month on your social media. I think there's genuine, real influencers, and there's influencers who've lost touch with their audience, with their tribe. There are people who got 2, 3, 4, 5 million, but actually they don't have people who follow them every day. They don't really care. They just want to know how they're living their life. So I think influencer marketing works because it's always done. It's always done, but it's done through PR companies, through advertisement. It's just the actual platforms changed. Now the influencer can talk to you direct. Before, it had to go through a PR agency or a marketing company or movies or TV companies before they got to the audience. Now all those middlemen, through the power of internet, they can go direct to the public. And I think influence marketing works. I try to work with influencers who actually have smaller tribes. They're very connected to the people, to the audience, and the audience really looks up to them and follows them. And also, when you're dealing with the massive guys who've got millions and millions of followers, they're gonna charge you a lot of money to actually promote your business or your products. So stick to micro influencers, not major ones.
Okay. So we have the next question is actually similar to one that we received here, which is, what is your best advice for someone who is starting off their business now? And the question we received on live is this the best time to be an entrepreneur? Which is the industry which you best at the current situation?
Okay. There's never the right time to start your business. There's never the right time to start your business. What you have to do before you start it, you got to do your homework. You got to do your market research. You got to know your unique selling proposition. You got to know the value you bring on the table and how much you're going to charge. And then you got to have a scalability. Is this business just relying on you, or can you hire staff to do what you do? Nobody's ever going to be like you, but you're going to have staff who will be 80%. The best qualified and motivated staff you're ever going to hire, they're going to be 80% your level. Is this scalable? If it is, go for it. Because there's money out. The money's energy. Suddenly, somebody didn't stop the flow of money. It's just not coming to most of us. It's not coming to the middle class. The rich are getting richer. If you have to get the Forbes magazine, the wealth of the rich is getting bigger. The divide is getting bigger because they have just a different way of thinking about money, and money is energy, right? Does that answer the question?
Yes. Okay. And which industry would you best advise to start in this current situation?
Well, I wouldn't say start in an industry. I would say follow your passion, because you're not going to, from your bedroom or part-time from your office, change the world, right? You can sell any shit if you knock on enough doors, okay? So if you're gonna start a business and you've done no market research, there's some idiot out there who will eventually buy your product. But then it's gonna take a lot of resources, your time, effort, and energy. So my suggestion is follow your passion, because the prospect in front of you will see that passion, feel the energy, and look in your eyes and trust you and like you, and give their hard-earned money for you to deliver or give them the product they desire. Follow your passion, not the industry. But of course, don't get into an airline business right now. Don't get into the hotel or casino business. Don't get into the cinema business, right? But Netflix are doing very well. So follow your passion in the right marketplace and make sure that you're actually earning money. Don't be scared of profitability. What do they say? That revenue is, turnover is vanity and profit is sanity. Look at how much you earn at the bottom line, not your revenue.
Okay, next question is, I sell luxury watches and my product is not affordable by everyone. So how can I connect to high net worth individuals?
All right. You can't compete. If you got luxury watches, you can't compete with the marketing budget of Rolex, right? But here's the thing, you could actually do a Google advertisement that has Rolex as a keyword. So when they're spending billions and millions looking for Rolex watches, you could use them as a keyword. We had a client of ours, I'm not going to mention who, but they were competing with a multi-billion-dollar business. And when we looked on the internet, they had millions of turnover or people clicking on their sites every single week. But what we recognized was that probably about 10,000 people a week misspelled that name. So when we did a Google advertising, we didn't go for the correct name, we went for the misspelling of that name. And our client's business took to the roof, because when you actually do the misspelling, you're still targeting 10,000 people a week, but you're not paying such cost per click costs. So we managed to make a lot of money for our client. So also find out where people who wear Rolex watches hang out. Do they go to the same golf clubs? What hotels? What restaurants? And try to be in that vicinity. Try to be in that peer group. Understand how they think and what they do. Are we good? Are we? Did we put anything on pause? I was never really trained as a salesperson, but I hope you can tell I'm just a very passionate guy. And I was never had fear of hard work. I remember that one of my first job as a salesperson was selling tracker systems for cars. And I knew that in the UK, that industrial states where all the courier companies and delivery companies were in the south, and I was based in Manchester. So often on a Friday at 5, 6, 7, 8 in the evening, I was door knocking in those places like Northampton and Milton Keynes. And my manager used to phone me up, say, "Where the hell are you? Ready for an argument?" And then he'll track my car and find out that at 7 or 8 o'clock on a Friday, instead of being in a pub or at home with the family, I was door knocking. And it's amazing when you door knock at those times, how many owners respect you, how many owners understand that you're not a 9 to 6 guy. They loved me, they loved the fact that I was committed, I worked hard. To be honest, I got sick and tired of being shouted at on the phone for no reason, because he was judging me by like all the other salesperson. But what made me successful is I was prepared to go that extra mile, work my hardest. And I used to get home at 3, 4 in the morning. But you know what, I had a good day's work, and I knew that I could pay for my children's school fees and hold my head up high as a father or a husband. So find what inspires you, work your damn hardest. Don't make the same mistakes. Learn from each call. Even today, after 30 years of selling, the moment I put the call down, I have an internal conversation. How did that go? How can I improve? Did I lose my temper? Did I do this? Did I jump in? Did I finish their sentence before they had a chance to say anything? Did I listen to them? Did I offer value, and did I come across the right way? So analyze what you do every single day, every call, every email, and don't hide behind emails. See people. As a salesperson, you always have to see people. Relationships are built face to face. On the phone, make sure you're not selling. Never pitch on the phone. Make sure you actually pitch the appointment to sell face to face with people.
Okay, great. We still have 3 more questions.
Okay.
How do you separate business and personal life?
You don't. You can't separate personal and business life. Your emotions aren't an alarm bell. You don't just like, you're dealing with stuff at home and you suddenly come to work and like a machine, you switch to work. So if people are asking you, don't bring personal life into work or work life into personal, it's not going to work. You're a human being. Try to prioritize. I've made mistakes where I bring the phone on the dining room table and I'm not focused. And you know what? My kids are older now. And I wish I was more present, because when you lose that time, you'll never get it back. And you only rent your kids. Oh, that sounds terrible, actually. You don't rent your kids, but you're only borrowing them for a short period of time before they set free. So the only regrets I have is that I was working so hard all my life. And when I was present, with my children, I wasn't totally present. I was distracted or thinking of other things. But you can't switch emotions on and off like a 9 to 6 job.
Next question. My friends make me feel like I'm doing something wrong by wanting to be an entrepreneur and have my own startup.
Sack your friends. Sack your friends.
That was the question.
If you go in the right path and you're going to look after your friends, your family, you have your wealth and your success is all about doing good and contributing, and your friends don't approve, you're only highlighting what they hate about themselves, not about, it's not about you. I think I said earlier that 80% of people don't care when you actually share things with them, and 20% think that thank God it's you and not them. So do it for yourself. I always say this, you come alone. You don't arrive into this world with a group of friends and you go alone. So look after number one. Doesn't mean at any expense. Stick to your values and principles. But if you feel that peer group are dragging you down, fire them, love them from distance, and get some new friends who inspire you and pull you up, not pull you down.
Okay. We actually have a follow-up question from the selling question. Vishal is saying,
hi Vishal.
How would you go about the face-to-face approach in selling during the COVID-19 situation? Many don't come on Zoom calls either. Okay,
here's the thing. I agree. Most people don't want to meet. Most people, actually a lot of people don't even want to communicate. They're kind of hiding in the room. You know what I say? My favorite word in business, Vishal? Next. Because this week I've signed some of the biggest clients we've ever done. So you can put those on hold, the ones who are driven by the media and are sitting at home, shit scared to leave their homes. Fine, put them on hold because this soon shall end, and see them in 2-3 months' time. But there are clients out there that we meet. I've got 2 meetings this afternoon. Yeah, we sit 2-3 meters apart. We put these damn masks on. But you know what? They're out there. They're looking at the ways to strategize and come out of the current situation they're in. Those are the people you want to be with. So my favorite word is next. Just move on. Vishal, it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. But make sure you're out there. And guess what? When this all is finished, they're going to remember who was working when everybody was at home hiding. So your credibility in the marketplace goes up as well. Are we done?
One more question.
One more question. Till Thursday.
How can I become more creative in finding solutions for my business challenges?
Don't toy around with your business. If you're passionate about your business, if you really care about it, you know what? You invest time researching. So my son, for instance, is absolutely passionate about online marketing. So sometimes I go home and midnight he's fallen asleep with his laptop on his lap because he's totally devoted and he's passionate about what the business he's in. So if you stop learning, you stop growing, you die. So keep learning, keep growing, keep educating your audience. And the only way you can educate the audience is educating yourself. So strive to grow. Do not stop. Don't listen to the noise. Listen to yourself and your positive peer group. Listen to your other gladiators. Are we done?
The end of the
okay. Much love, everybody. Respect. And gladiators, I honor you. Take care. Bye. See you Thursday.